That's us. We're there.
Hey, it's happening.
There.
Yeah. Starting. All right. It says stream has disconnected, attempting to reconnect. You know, sometimes
Are we still live now?
it says we're live. If you're out there and you could hear me, let me know.
All right. Let's see how we're gonna do.
There we
this.
go. If you're seeing it, we're good. You look so distressed.
That's the face of like, oh man.
Oh man, that's funny.
What are we
We'll have to
doing?
clip all of the views of like one or both of us just looking distressed at the
You guys,
technology breaking again.
you don't understand how stressful it is to do these shows every week, twice a week. Make
And
sure
you
they're perfect so everyone can enjoy these and see that we want them to be great just for you. Okay. Nonetheless, it looks like we're smooth. We're smooth
We are
streaming here.
smooth
Like,
sailing,
we
smooth
got
streaming.
the sail just set up and just there we go.
All right.
If you're watching, let us know that you're watching so we can know that the stream is coming through clear, that you can hear us. Because if you're not new to the show, you understand that 85% of the show is technology.
Oh man.
Fixing technology.
So it looks like we're live now, and so I want to say hello and welcome.
Hello.
And my name is Corey,
And I am Lavander.
and we are
Corvander's
Grill. So
we got some cool new sound effect things we were playing out with, so maybe you'll hear some cool sound
maybe
effects
I
out.
could
That'd
turn
be
some of those
awesome.
on. We could play with that a little bit. Some new voice changing, some modulating, got some auto tune going on.
Yeah, Corey sounded like T-Pain earlier. It was amazing. It's like, play that track.
I have
Corey.
my lady voice on for a little bit as well.
We're doing some catfishing, practicing for that. I'm gonna figure out what our new career is gonna be: catfishing or auto tuning.
Fun fact about Miss Manager, or actually our Miss Manager's mom in the show. I forget what title she had. She used to nanny for the guy who hosts the Catfish show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was just watching that on
was his
Snapchat.
nanny. Yeah.
That's so funny. Wow.
So, yeah, small world.
It's a very small world. So maybe we'll pick up on the catfish episode with him. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh man. So where do you want to start? The weekend?
Well, speaking of technologies and everything today, we're going to talk about futuristic technologies and where we are on some of our technology we're using today, as well as what's coming out in the future, because the future is now. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, so please let us know if you're hearing this. Let us know in the comments what technology you are most excited about, or really any aspect of the future. Whether it's something that you see is definitely going to happen, or you think will happen, or maybe something that you're like, it's a long shot. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but it'd be really cool if it happened. Nothing's off limits. So let us know whether it's like traveling at light speed to the nearest star, or maybe just something more closer in the near future, like the fact that driverless cars are going to become quite normal and perhaps even required in some places, if not everywhere eventually.
If you have any questions about technologies and how they work, we have here our local genius, Mr. Corey.
Being the dog? Oh.
Corey Kubert.
I don't know about that.
Understand. This is what Corey and I do all day long. I'm like, why is this not yet invented? And Corey breaks it down and tells me like what's going on with it. So this will be a fun episode. Stick around. But before we jump into technology, we're going to talk about the weekend and what happened there.
Not the band.
Not the weekend.
The musician.
Yeah. No, not that the weekend.
But our weekend.
Until he redeems himself in my favor from the Super Bowl that happened, we will never talk about the weekend ever again. But this weekend, we did some cool things, and I never remember what they are. So Corey gives us a flashback of the weekend. We should have a flash flash everybody
Flash.
like into the weekend.
What if we do? What is this?
All right, that works. The weekend.
Yeah, we can do. We'll have to put some other little graphic there that flashes like weekend.
That would
like,
be cool.
Recap.
Ooh, I like
Recap.
it.
I can make that
I
happen.
like that.
Make
All
that
right.
happen.
Things are gonna happen for you all.
If you're interested in seeing how we do some of the technology on the show, feel free to let me know. It's something we could certainly share, do like a behind the scenes.
That'd be cool.
Something one of these days, maybe for patrons or maybe for everyone, anyone who'd like to see.
Behind the scenes us is probably way more fun than on camera us, so you might like that a lot.
Well, I don't know if I'll necessarily, give them us behind the scenes.
Oh.
That's the paid subscribers. But we'll give them behind the scenes. We'll show them our little setup and the technology, how this whole thing
Support
works.
the Patreon for that one.
Big shout out and thank you to our patrons for supporting us with a new mic stand. It's no longer held together with duct tape and Velcro.
Oh my gosh, you
It
guys
actually,
don't understand.
Just stands on its own now. So
thank you for those who've been supporting the Patreon so we can get this mic stand. Not that the other mic stand wasn't nice, but it
was held together with rubber bands, tape, Velcro, and like we had to prop it up on like
literally hanging on by a thread type thing.
We had to use like credit cards to like wedge it in between like the clamp that held it onto the table.
It was rough,
so it didn't damage the table. It was like this whole process.
It was an ordeal. It was a process,
to say the least.
So know that your Patreon dollars are going to great use. Hey, Breezy238. Wow.
Hello. Thanks for being here, Breezy238.
Breezy238 is usually with us on game nights on Friday, but she's coming out for a little bit of sun on daytime talk.
For Monday office hours.
Or for all I know. Sorry, Breezy238. They will say.
And I will say, speaking of game night, we started our weekend with Friday game night, as usual. We had a little bit of a different Friday evening with mashup game night. Instead of playing one game like we usually do, we played 3.
That's right.
And it involved riding a unicorn as a cat ninja with a gun.
I do remember
that happened.
I remember that. That was a unicorn.
Through a futuristic racetrack.
Okay.
What else did we play?
That was Trials Fusion.
Trials Fusion, for those keeping track out there.
For those who like dungeon crawlers at its finest, we got to play the game Crawl.
Yes, we played a game, essentially, picture an arcade game that's like really low res, and one of us played as the hero trying to escape the dungeon from all the monsters, while the other one was a ghost that would possess booby traps and the monsters to try to take out the other one from leaving the dungeon. Yeah. And so it was really interesting concept. And then once you eliminated the hero, you got to be the hero, and then the other person would take control of the monster. So what was great about it is like there's some games where it feels like you're losing, and where it's like, oh, you have to be doing a certain, like, oh, I'm not the hero right now, I'm losing because I'm the monster. But it was like fun to be either one. It
whether
didn't really
you were
matter.
the hero or the ghost, it was really fun. I like that one a lot. I like being a ghost.
Definitely gonna have to revisit that.
Yeah,
that was
we'll
great.
definitely have to replay. And then third, we played.
What did we play third?
We may not have played a third game.
No, we did.
No, we did.
We did.
A third game. Oh, Bomberman.
Oh, that's right.
If you are of the classic Bomberman.
Bomberman, it came out originally in like the late 80s or early 90s. Really old game.
Long time ago.
But now they have it all remastered and released on PlayStation 4. So essentially, you're this little cute character that runs around this grid, dropping little bombs, and you have to blow each other up. Yeah, that's the short version.
That's the short version. The short fun version of it.
It's like Checkers meets Battleship.
Yeah, actually, with more visibility.
Without taking turns. It's like all live action all at once.
So much fun.
So, anyways, that was fun experience.
Oh, we have people watching. Well, if you're watching, please say hi in the comments. Let us know that you're there. We love to
Thanks for tuning in.
Interact. Thank you for tuning in.
And let us know if you are, if you didn't hear earlier, we're going to be talking in just a minute here about the future. And so think about what is your favorite thing about technology that's coming out in the near future, or maybe way in the future. What is like what do you look forward to about the future? And we'd love to hear from you in the comments. We can talk about anything you put out there, teleportation, space travel, or simple things like
Corey already
driverless
knows
cars.
my favorite is teleportation. So we're definitely talking about teleportation and what's going on there.
Breezy238 says they love watching us play Escapist on game night. That was a lot of fun. We're definitely gonna have to play that one again.
Thanks for watching us play Escapist Breezy238. We always enjoy you on the show with us. It's always great.
Escapist is a little very funny. It's kind of like an escape room, except you're in a little prison.
Yeah.
A cartoon prison that you're trying to escape out of. That's the short version. But in any case, moving on through the weekend, Saturday we got to host our monthly men's gathering, the Sacred Masculine.
Yes.
Really awesome group of men joined us, and we had some new guys in the crew, and that was a lot of always great introducing new people to the work, having conscious conversation. And if you know anyone in the South Florida area who would like to be a part of our monthly gatherings, please send them our way. We have a Facebook group, and we meet in person, usually in the Boynton Beach area, on the last Saturday of the month. Yeah. So really good work, really awesome processes, and a lot of really great contributions from everyone present.
Yeah, so thank you to the men of Sacred Masculine, those who showed up, and it's a great time, and everyone's always asking, what is it? And it's really, speaking of, Carmelo just jumped in the comments, says, it was awesome, had an amazing time. Thank you,
Thanks, Carmelo.
We appreciate it.
So good to see you there.
He can tell you firsthand how awesome it is, and the space that's created for men to come together in conscious conversations and personal development and whatever they're facing as men and our society. We get to talk about it all together, so it's really cool to have people come together that way.
So you just made my day, Carmelo, seeing your name pop up there. I had this like feeling that Carmelo was watching this right now. I was like, I could feel it in my bones. I was like, Carmelo's here on one of these screens somewhere. He's gonna pop up.
That's awesome.
So thank you.
And maybe it was our cool technology that alerted us. Carmelo might be here.
Yeah. Huge hug to you, and great seeing you as always.
Yeah.
Look forward to having you at the next one.
Thank you for being on the show with us, and join us in the comments.
Absolutely.
What else do we do this weekend?
Well, I do want to share some sad news that would have liked to not have had happen this weekend. That our dear friend, who has been a show regular with us.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of you know her if you've watched the show, Tess Nova, who.
AKA Bossa Nova on the show.
Yeah, Bossa Nova on game night. She joins us for a lot of our game nights. She lost her mother this past weekend. So please, send your love and prayers to Tess Nova and her family. And, I'm grateful that she has an amazing group of friends around her, and we've been supporting her as much as we can. And she knows that we're all here for her.
Yes.
And, it's never an easy thing to lose a parent. And so, yeah, that was definitely a tough experience for her. And all of us were kind of have been there for her through the weekend and yesterday. And, I lost my father unexpectedly when I was 11. I haven't talked about my story too much here, but maybe that'll be a potential topic in the near future to talk about people sharing experience of losing loved ones. Is always something we don't talk about that often in the world. It's like everyone just tries to be strong and move on, but it can be helpful for other people who've lost loved ones to hear from those who share similar experiences.
That would be a good episode to talk about grief and the process of it. There's a lot that goes on with it, and definitely remember to keep Task Nova, aka Boss Nova, and direct some love and prayers towards her and the family and everyone that's impacted by it. So sending some good vibes and well wishes to everyone out there. Millie just joined on. It says hello.
Hello, Millie. Big heart for you.
Love you. Thanks for joining us in the comments. Always good to hear from you, and I like just to see your little bubble pop up on my screen because I'm like, ooh, some Millie. I missed that. So that was our weekend.
Yeah. The only other thing I didn't really talk about was like a minor part of the weekend, but also still a great little experience is we went and had some liquid nitrogen ice cream. So I think a lot of people know what that is by now, but just in case you don't, liquid nitrogen is very cold, negative, I think it's like 321 degrees. And I want to say, yeah, that would be Fahrenheit, right? It's very cold. Let's just put it that way. And so, ice cream, this is a fun little science thing before we jump into the science of the future. What makes ice cream creamy is the fact that it's frozen, but without having crystals. Normally, when you put something in the freezer, the crystals form really slowly, and they rearrange themselves like in order. Like, think of like maybe like a honeycomb pattern or like a crystalline lattice, right? Where all the atoms like match up right side by side. And that's why we get things like ice, right? The ice is like hard. And so if you just put
it's, a solid forming.
Yeah, it forms a solid, right? So when you put anything in the freezer, typically, if it freezes at the temperature of your freezer, it would be solid when you go to like touch it or its texture is solid. But if you freeze something fast enough, well, when you normally make ice cream, if you've seen the little things that churn around, the little blade,
the thing that makes it all like soft and like, well, not soft, but
Well, normally when you make ice cream, you have like a very cold surface, and then you have a little blade that's scraping it off the edge.
There you go, that thing.
And so what's happening in that process is the ice cream, the cream is starting to freeze. The ice crystals start to form on the edge of this cold surface, but the blade is just scraping them off so that they don't grow and get these large crystals. Instead, it just has tiny crystals all blended together. And so that's why it's creamy instead of
so
hard.
Creamy and delicious.
And if you leave it in the freezer long enough, those atoms will start to rearrange themselves, and the crystals will all form one big crystal, which is why ice cream will eventually turn hard in the freezer and no longer be creamy. So liquid nitrogen, which is so cold, what's cool about liquid nitrogen ice cream and where we went is that you pick your base, right? So you could pick cream, you could pick yogurt, or you could pick, for the vegan folks out there or health conscious, you could pick coconut milk. Yeah. And then you pick your flavors that they add to the base.
Which I chose red velvet.
I chose coconut and banana. And then, bless you.
Excuse me.
Then I
was allergic to the coconut he's talking about.
Then they take, Breezy238 says that, our audio is lower than usual. Let's do this. I see what might be the problem.
Hi, Virtual Des.
Sorry if we, slackers.
Who said our audio is lower than normal or than usual, and then called us slackers.
Oh, Virtual Des said that part, yeah.
We appreciate your harassment, sir.
Maybe this is better. I just turned it up a little bit. Let me know.
Did you let's show, Virtual Des, did you catch the new piece of equipment that we have on the show?
Yes, Virtual Des, one of our amazing supporters and patrons. We appreciate you, and I want to show you our duct taped velcroed mic stand that is actually holds the mic without falling apart. Yay. So we appreciate you and your support.
Thank you for your support and supporting our Patreon. Now we have a functioning mic stand. So that's awesome. Breezy238 says, this is my favorite technology, ice cream. Yes.
So one of my favorite technologies as well. So in any case, in this particular ice cream place we went, and there's a bunch of them now. It's becoming a more common thing. They have a giant tank of liquid nitrogen, and you pick your base, you pick your flavor, they put it in a bowl, and then they pump liquid nitrogen right into it. And because it freezes immediately, essentially, the atoms don't have time to organize themselves into a lattice, into a crystal, into ice, and so it just flash freezes in its like messy liquid structure, which makes it super creamy in but in solid form. And so it is.
So that's what's going on with your liquid nitrogen ice cream.
The best. That's why it's the best tasting ice cream, because it's as creamy as possible, creamier than you would be able to make it.
All I need to know is taste delicious in my gut. Because
it is delicious.
I love the way it tastes. It was so good.
We used to make it at MIT because like all the laboratories use liquid nitrogen for everything. So like it would be like there's like clubs of and different groups. It'd be like a campus event. They'd be like, "Oh, come have some liquid nitrogen ice cream." Like,
are we able to make that on the show?
I'm sure we could. It's not that hard to get liquid nitrogen.
We're gonna do it right now. Pick your ice cream flavors. Change of show. No, just kidding.
We should definitely do that.
That'd be really cool. So stay tuned for that episode because that'd be cool. That would be actually some. Oh man, I just thought of some really cool ideas with that one. All right. Before we move on, Carmela says, "I know the feeling. I just lost my dad a few weeks ago. Sorry to hear, Carmelo, and we're sending you some love and prayers as well. I know a lot of people have been losing loved ones and families due to these very weird circumstances we're living in right now. So just remember to be mindful. Everyone who's watching, say a prayer for everyone who's watching the show who may be going through a tough time losing loved ones. We're all in this same space with you, and we're sharing the same sentiments. So hearts are wide open and sending love to each and every one of you.
Yeah, sorry for your loss, Carmelo, and sending you lots of love. And it's crazy. I know a lot of people people have lost due to COVID, and then a lot of people are having extra challenges with losing loved ones due to COVID, where like hospital beds are not available, or I have a dear friend over in New Zealand who just unexpectedly lost her husband, and they're in lockdown right now due to COVID. And so even though his death was not caused by COVID, they were not able to have a funeral in person, and they also like there was a lot of weirdness and just challenges around even like arranging for his burial and everything like that. So sending lots of love to my friend and my coach Sally over in New Zealand and her family.
We love you, Sally.
Love you, Sally.
Virgil Des says in the comments there, it's a Yeti. Couldn't help but give a tiny physics lesson on Corey. Oh, well, this was a good physics lesson. I'll give him that one. Hopefully that's like some of these physics lessons, I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, Corey, but sure. But that was a fun one.
Okay, good.
I like ice cream. So
who doesn't like ice cream, right?
I don't know. But what I want to talk about is the future.
Okay.
And teleportation. Because I will not rest until teleportation happens in my lifetime. So I want to be able to
just
go
jumping straight to that, huh?
From point A to point B. I want to be able to be on my couch here in Florida and teleport to my best friend in San Francisco in an instance. How's that going to happen? Make it happen, Corey. This is what all your MIT dollars paid for, right? This is what you guys were working on the entire time while you were in school. Just teleportation alone.
We're going else. Straight to that, huh? This is a very complicated and challenging
In the meantime, post in the comments, what would you like to see as far as technology?
I'm gonna skip that and come back to that one.
Oh man. All right.
I'm gonna talk about something I'm very excited about. Oh,
okay, wait. Before you jump to what you're excited about. Okay. Cammy just posted in the comments, I know someone about to open a flying car dealership.
That's cool.
That is awesome.
That's actually very similar to what I was just gonna talk about.
Flying cars?
I was gonna mention flying cars, but I was also gonna just talk about self-driving cars and how.
Okay. All right, we can start at self-driving cars.
I do have a friend that worked on
is on teleportation over space travel. Okay, we're gonna come to that too.
Well, yeah, ooh. Those are, if I had to, is that like an either or, like would you rather, like teleportation or space travel?
That's how I
Which
took it.
yeah, that's an interesting question. I'm curious to hear what everyone's thoughts are. It depends on when you say space travel, what you mean. I mean, I feel like in our lifetime, we're gonna like we already have space tourism. It's only gonna right now. It's only for the wealthy, but that's like it no longer costs millions and millions of dollars to get a ticket to space. Now it's like a few hundred thousand. So
We're working our way back.
Working our way down. In our lifetime, for most of us listening, I think we'll be able to get to the point of affordable space travel for the tourist to at least get to go out of the atmosphere, experience weightlessness, and come back.
Yeah.
And I don't think we're so far off to tourism to the moon and to Mars, but maybe that might be a generation away.
We're getting there.
Interplanetary galaxy space travel. Now that is something else. That is a very different.
What do we mean by interplanetary?
So between planets. So like from Earth going to like Mars, for example.
Got it.
Or like to another galaxy.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, to me, like teleportation opens up like all of that. Like even like with space travel, like I mean, yeah, I could be on my couch instead of going to San Francisco. I can just go to Mars or Venus or something. Look, the way things happen on Futurama is the way I want it to be in real life. That's basically.
It would be great. I do think of that a lot. If what was that movie called? Jumper. I think.
Was that the one with
what's his name? Is it Christian Haydenson or something? Was that?
Yeah.
Is that his name? Did I get it right?
Was it Hayden Christensen?
Okay, something like that. Yeah.
The Star Wars guy.
Star Wars Anakin guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the movie called Jumper, where they can essentially jump between point A to point B, teleport, and I always would think about like if I had that, what I would be like and where I would go. And I don't know if they did this in the movie, but I always imagine being able to like you can essentially fly like Superman because you just like jump from point A through the sky like just continuously.
Okay.
And if it's a power that you can just do as opposed to a technology. Yeah. We're talking.
Well, there is a realm of power. Like the technology would be the teleportation, though.
Yeah. So like, but let's just say in version 1 though.
I like how we weren't going to talk about this, but here we are talking.
I know. Here we are. So I figured, two of you mentioned teleportation. I might as well jump right into it.
Because teleportation is amazing. Let's put this out in the comments right now. If we had teleportation as a technology available to you right now, how would you make use of it? I'm curious.
I mean, I would just love to be able to, like you said, travel across the country to, like, I would love to go for just the weekend to a national park or for the day. Like, be in my home and just like, oh, I want to go see the Grand Canyon today. Boop, I'm over there. Oh, let's go to the Rocky Mountain, National Park. Boop, I'm there. Or let's go see the Great Wall of China, or go somewhere really cool in Tokyo, or go see a shrine over in Japan somewhere.
I think that'd be very awesome to be able to easily access these points on our Earth at like no time at all. However, I think capitalistically, I think there would still be a lot of like blockages to like I mean, granted, our national parks are free.
Well, they're not.
Well,
I mean, they're inexpensive.
They're not free, but
it's like $35 a day per vehicle.
Yeah,
or it's like $70 a year, unlimited. So
Grand
it's like
Canyon and like no cost at all.
Yeah. So,
but I would imagine like what would it be like
all the red tape and logistics behind.
Yeah.
So that was actually going to be my next thing, is thinking about how you would govern, like, let's just say the technology requires like 2 doorways, so to speak, like where it's like, okay, point A, you walk through this door and then you have to like calibrate it against another point in space. Like probably version 1 of teleportation, assuming we even get to this version, would be like 2 doors that are permanently configured to one another, right? So like we have a place where we have to go like to Miami to get to the door, that's going to open up in, like, let's say San Francisco, and then those doors are connected. It's not like where you just, I'm going to click a button and go anywhere I want to.
Should be. That'd be
Well,
cool.
so but thinking about that, you would, let's just say we got to that point though of where it could go anywhere, you'd probably still, even if the technology could take you anywhere you wanted, you probably would want to have some sort of failsafe where it's like the other end is allowing you to show up there.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? So like you don't just teleport into people's houses or into the White House, or like suddenly anyone can just teleport into like the nuclear launch sites and like steal bombs and all sorts of things. Like,
all right. I see where you're going. I see what you're saying.
Really
Like,
dicey.
Yeah, that would be. Okay. So what is the closest thing we have now to teleportation? Obviously, this has been a concept and ideas in science fiction and movies and Hollywood and so many different things. Like, this is not something that's new. What's the closest thing we have to teleportation?
It's funny. The first thing I was gonna say is a fax machine.
The things that we hate the most.
Oh, hi, Rafe.
Hey, Rafe.
Hi, friend. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, we're talking about technology, teleportation. Let us know in the comments any technology that you would like to see in the future, or if you want to comment on this teleportation conversation right now. You know, how would you make use if you had accessibility to a teleportation device?
And Virtual Des said we'd bring back phone booths as repurposed as teleportation booths, telebooths. I love it. He said, now I'm torn. So, thinking about the technology that we have now, there's not really anything functionally that is like would do what you want it to. Now, the closest thing that I think of that in a practical sense is actually giving us the experience of teleportation, but it's not what you're really asking for when you say teleportation.
What is the experience?
Is virtual reality, and in combination with augmented reality, right? So virtual reality is I'm wearing a headset and I, can look around in some virtual space. Augmented reality being I have either a camera looking with my phone and I'm seeing the actual space I'm in with something superimposed on it, or I have some sort of lens on my eyes where I can see the room I'm in, but there's something augmented onto my reality, right? So think if you've ever played Pokemon Go, that would be augmented reality, right? Where you see the Pokemon in the room that you're in.
Or even now your phone has cool augmented reality like features.
Right built into the camera. You can like draw little things right in the room and see it. Or like Google search has a augmented reality thing where you can like look up, like you type shark into Google. It says, want to see a shark in 3D? And like you hold your camera up and it like swims through the room that you're in.
I think Google Maps just updated to something with augmented reality.
Yeah?
Yeah, I saw it come up on my phone the other day.
Well, I know that they have a thing where essentially you can be walking around outside and like aim at a business and it'll show you things about it, I think. Okay. I don't know if it's in use yet, but
yeah,
that was one of the features I saw.
A few new things came out with Google Maps. I was like, what is going on?
So, I mean, we're going to get to a point where we'll be able to wear, like they had a few years back, it never really caught on, the Google Glass, where it was like these glasses, but it was just like a tiny little viewport here that was mapped onto your surroundings that would give you information.
I was so excited when I heard about that years ago. I was like, oh my gosh, what is this thing? It's going to be so cool. And it turned out to be
I think cool. It'll circle back around. Microsoft is coming out with HoloLens, which is essentially imagine a Windows experience that's built onto your surroundings. So you would actually, I think the HoloLens are out, but it's not really mainstream yet. But imagine like looking at your wall and you just be like, all right, I want to put a TV there. Boop. Or like, I want to put my news on this wall, or like turn this wall into a big picture frame, right? So if you've ever seen Minority Report, it's pretty much what you see in that movie with Tom Cruise, where it's like futuristic manipulating like 3D space with digital screens that are virtual screens. So we have that already right now. It's just not super mainstream yet.
It's not in my house.
But we're getting close to a lot of these things becoming more mainstream. Virtual reality with the Oculus Quest goggles became much more accessible.
Yeah.
And although that may be, Facebook is getting sued by the government to break up right now in an antitrust lawsuit. So, and they
Ooh.
own Oculus. So, who knows? Maybe that'll shift up a little bit. Um, but going back to teleportation, one of the things that's really cool that we have now, and again, it's not very consumer ready. It's mostly businesses, and it's like thousands of dollars just to get into the space, as opposed to like a few hundred. They have technology where it's, imagine like wearing your virtual reality goggles,
Okay.
where I see the room that either that I'm in with you in it with me, or I'm in the room that you're in, right? So let's say you're in San Francisco, and you and I want to have an interaction together. I could put on the goggles, and the sensors in your kit in San Francisco would scan your room, and it would know in 3D space what the room looks like at every level. And so when I put on the goggles, when I look around, it's like I'm actually in that room with you, and I would see you in the room. So
That's cool.
it's essentially like we are in the room together, and this exists already today, where we can. There's a few companies developing this kind of technology, and it works.
I remember we looked at something. I think we may have looked at this before, and I remember how cool it was to kind of see that, like you said, just really like you said, like I think about PlayStation has, like share play feature,
Mm-hmm.
and like how the share play feature, the concept of it is it blah 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 blah. The concept of it
I know that concept.
yeah, exactly. See, it's not as alien as it sounds. The concept of it is to be able to play games as if the other person is on the couch with you,
Mm-hmm.
and if you add that component to it,
It'd be
then
like
you
they're
really
literally on
have
the couch with you.
the
Yeah.
person on the couch with you. So
Mm-hmm.
that's like something really cool to like think about and cut like.
And that is absolutely like one of the applications for this, right? Imagine you're playing a video game through your goggles. You're looking, it could even be like you see the room that you're in, or see like a giant picture you're playing on an IMAX movie screen, right?
That's
There's
so
no, because you're in
cool.
virtual land, there's no, like, you could be on the moon playing on a movie screen, right? And then I have a couch, and then your friend is sitting right next to you.
Well, that sounds amazing. I'm all in for it.
By the way, you can already watch IMAX movies on the moon in VR. Your friend just can't be sitting literally next to you, like.
So is this product accessible for people, out for the public at this point?
So
Maybe not in mass.
so
Like,
so
commercials.
virtual reality is in fact accessible in terms of like being able to go to foreign places and experience them yourself,
Right.
and being able to watch movies and play games on giant screens in virtual reality, and in very exotic places, all sorts of really cool things in that sense. The part that's not really accessible yet, cost wise, is having someone else share that experience with you in a true, like, you have avatars where people like design their own characters, and there's a lot of like that is very popular now, and that exists in a lot of games where like you come up with your own character, or even one that looks like yourself, and then I could see you represented in virtual reality.
Mm.
But it's not like wherever you are, literally the way you look in that moment,
Right.
perfectly tracked. They do have sensors, though, I will say, called full body tracking sensors, where you attach them to like your wrist, your arms, legs, and then when that character in like when you move your leg, your character moves a leg. So it's a very good representation, even without the like perfect mapping of you. And they also are coming out with, now this part is only just becoming accessible to the average consumer. Up to now, it's been like thousands of dollars. But someone, actually, I think an MIT student just released an open source concept for building your own gloves.
Ah.
And so the gloves, the way they work is like there's
we
these
saw
little
that the other day.
pulleys. So there's two parts to the gloves. One is finger level tracking. So when you look in the VR, you look at your hand and you actually see your fingers move in the VR. So it feels like you're really seeing your fingers. But taking it to the next level, where when you grab something, like if I grab a ball, there's little pulleys and motors that pull your fingers back, so it actually
Manipulates
feels like you're holding
weight.
on to something in VR. And
Yeah.
whatever you grab, if it's a handle, your hand actually contours around the object. So really getting to this level of full immersion. So to me, that's the closest thing we have to actually experiencing what teleportation would be like. While it's not exactly what I know you mean when you say teleportation,
Okay.
still really cool technology.
It is, and we're on our way, and that's, you know, this is the way technology works. You know, we start out with different concepts and ideas of how we can get closer to it, and I'm willing to take, you know, a virtual reality teleportated self of me
All
versus
right, I
real
call that a win.
life.
That's exciting.
All right, but so let's shift gears really quickly
Yes.
because I know the other thing we really want to talk about was something that's happening now. That's,
Yes.
you know, cars that are being driven by themselves.
Mhm.
So what do we have with that?
So, I mean, most people don't even realize that it's already for, I think, like at least 5 years, if not maybe even several more, that self-driving cars are a thing. Like, there's cars that exist on the road today that have no steering wheel in them at all. Where, like, there's a blind man who was using such a car. I forget what city. I think it was in California, and he would, I guess he had some sort of like app or device that he could summon the car, and it would pick him up and take him wherever he wanted to go. It's literally like just like two seats. There's no steering wheel or anything, and it takes him where he needs to go. And
Well, sounds like that's ideal for everyone.
right, I mean, what's great? I mean,
I
how
want
awesome is that? You don't have to drive yourself. You can take a nap or do other work. And there's actually like Uber service. I forget what it's called. It's not Uber, but it's like Uber, where you summon a vehicle, but there's no
Yeah.
driver in it, and it just takes you where you want to go, and you sit in the back seat. This car does have a steering wheel in the front, but you can't like access it. If you need support, you like call the people in the office, and they can like take over manual control if there's like some weird construction thing the car can't figure out.
So amazing.
But that's where we're at. That exists now. That is in production.
Yeah.
And
Self-driving cars is probably like my number 2 most favorite technology that like I want to see happen. I worked at Department of Transportation for 6 years, and all I did was work with and watch vehicle accidents all day long. And let me tell you, you people should not have a license. My goal is to take everyone's license away. You do not need a license. I don't trust you. No, I'm just kidding. It's more safe, you know, when we have a calculated system
Mhm.
of driving, and that's more in sync and in tune to response and reaction versus human emotion, reaction, and everything else that goes into driving that we don't really that don't really help us on the road as much when we have technology that can do this for us. We have a few comments over here from Rafe. I completely missed. Sorry, Rafe. Rafe says, I saw something about this with semi trucks. They drive from station to station all on the highway. Crazy. When I was living
Really cool.
in Austin, Texas, Google has self-driving cars in some newer neighborhoods that looked safer and more inviting. Yes. So this has been something I've known like for years that they've been working with um, transportation or transporting, and the transporting industry with tractor trailers is to create an automatic you know, self-driving transportation system. Whether that was, I know a lot they were looking at was like, you know, magnetic roadways and everything
Mhm.
like that. When we were looking, like when I worked in the Department of Transportation, like there was a lot of like concepts actually came to us.
Hmm.
But magnetic roadways was one of them, and what that would be like. And I know the the transportation industry, as far as tractor trailers and stuff, was like one of the first they were going to work on converting.
Interesting.
Just because it would reduce so much, one, environmentally, the impact it would have,
Mhm.
but also the costs that it would have in shipping would be significantly reduced as well.
And that, you know, what you just said, the environmental in particular is a really great point. So imagine and again, this is where we're headed. Like, this is already, like, you talked about safety, right? So safety, the stats are already in. Like, this is not like pending more research. Now, we do need to figure out, like, there's some logistics we need to figure out of like who's accountable when things do go wrong. That is a very challenging question to answer. But as far as just pure safety, it's much safer to be in a self-driving car than in a human-driven car. And I don't remember if this data set I was looking at recently was like of just this one company or across all self-driving cars, but it was like of the same proportion. There was like much fewer accidents, and the accidents that did happen, they were almost entirely. I think there was like 20 of them on the list, and I think maybe like 17 of them were caused by humans or something. And actually, I think maybe all 20 were caused by humans, but like 17 were in other vehicles, and 3 of them were like pedestrians who like ran into the car.
Oh wow.
Like, or things like that. It was extremely like, it was very clear from looking at the stats how much safer the self-driving cars were.
Yeah.
And it's very, and in my mind, an inevitability that we will get to the point in our lifetime or soon after where, at least in some places, if not everywhere, it becomes illegal to drive a car. Like, for you as a person to just drive one, the roads will be set up in a way where the cars just drive themselves. It'd be like,
can you imagine that?
Imagine if right now you could just take your own train on a train track. It'd be like, that's not safe. Like,
Right.
like it wouldn't make sense to do that, because they're all like automated, and they, like, or the monorail at Disney World, like they're timed, they do their thing. You don't have to think about it. They know when one is going and the other, comes in at the right time.
So out of the concept to think like, instead of like the law and the consequences, like, what are you doing driving that car? That's illegal. Like,
right?
Wow.
I mean, it'll start off likely in some newer towns and new places where there's not some pre-established like consensus of like what's normal that they have to overcome. What do we
Jarrett says,
oh, hi,
already
Jarrett.
on its way. That is what 5G is used for. Hi, Jarrett. I'm just happy to see your face in the comments.
Yeah, 5G is going to make the internet much faster and interconnected in towns. And so that is one of several ways. Essentially, what will happen is like the vehicles will, how do I put this? Right now, if there's one driverless car on the road, it still has to navigate all of the other human drivers, right? But once we have towns that are entirely driverless cars, a lot of things now become possible and shift. One of those things is there will be no more traffic lights, right? Because all the cars will know where all the other cars are through the interconnectedness of the either to each other or by using things like 5G to know where all the others are. They more than likely they'll have like little satellite beacons in the cars themselves. The 5G network will not even necessarily be needed, but it'll be similar technology. And they'll be able to like interweave like right through the intersection, know where they're each of them are, right? And they'll just boop boop like go straight across the intersection. The roads will not have to be so wide, so we'll be able to plant a lot more trees, take back some of that land for agriculture, for parks, more like human activities.
You say that, it made me think of Futurama, where like all the robots would like just come out and just like crossing the street. And it's like, that's it. Like, because they all know each other. So there's actually what like this idea like you're talking about is called smart cities. And when I worked for the Department of Transportation, on one of the contracts that we had, the company I worked for actually developed was in developing like some of the technologies for smart cities. And why is that? Because exactly like what you're saying, like the Department of Transportation deals with a lot of your roadway cameras and everything, things like we talk about with dang, I can't think of the name of the company. Recor,
Oh yeah.
who has things like plate readers, you have traffic camera readers, how all these technologies we have that actually read and monitor our roadway systems, sensors inside of the
Mm-hmm.
roads. So all these technologies are out there, and then we have like these testing like cities uh who have these things like you mentioned, Jarrett. um and it's so cool to see like this concept of how everything just kind of works together under like one system. Like, well, what is this really like?
Mm-hmm.
How much safer can this make our society
Hmm.
as a whole?
What did he say? He said,
We had a few comments from Jarrett and Rafe. So Rafe says, "Can you imagine no more DUIs,
mm-hmm.
no more speeding tickets?" Jared says they have that with sensors already. Most cars have them installed. Those little circle is what they're using. Yes. Um, no more DUIs, no more speeding tickets is absolutely amazing. No more DUIs would be great. Because yeah, the number of incidents of DUIs are actually really high, and it's sad.
I
So
just look forward to not having to drive myself anywhere. In the future,
yeah,
I don't like humans. It will not be a normal thing for people to own their own car, right? You would not need to. You would click a button in an app, and a vehicle will, probably a very tiny vehicle, will summon to your door. You'll hop in, and then that vehicle will take you to where you're going, or perhaps it'll be more modular if you're going a long distance. It'll insert itself and like connect to like a larger vehicle.
So you're saying it's say goodbye to my car note? What? Bye bye auto insurance?
I will, yeah, I will not
What?
miss any of that. I know some people really enjoy cars and driving. So, and I'm sure there will be space carved out for people to still have it as a hobby, but it will not be a normal thing, where
Yeah.
like anyone can just drive on the main
I mean,
roads.
because we can't just get rid of NASCAR. There'll be a lot of upset people. So we have to think of how we can then, you know,
Maybe
transform
they'll
or
have
evolve
NASCAR
the
without
sport.
drivers. It'll just be like who has the best car.
My goodness, that'd be
But all
crazy.
these things we're talking about as it relates to the car is the technology's there. Like this, there's not any new technology that needs to be invented. It's all about the
The
logistics, the
utilization.
politics,
Yeah.
the understanding the law, the who's accountable, making things fair, and keeping consumers safe. Right, that all the right precautions are being taken. But it's very clear that even if we didn't take our time, it's much safer for people than humans driving cars, like letting
Yes.
the computers take over.
Carmelo says it'll take away most of the parking garage that are all over the city. Just that alone, when you
Yep.
think about like the amount of space that we use for parking lots, parking garages, think about Disney. That entire parking lot of like like that we have out there, like
So many cars.
so many cars.
There
And
won't, yeah, there won't be large parking lots because again, the cars will drop you off, and they may have certain spots where they park, but those will be very few because again, they can kind of like be parked anywhere because they all the cars know where each other are, so they're always being
exactly.
maximally utilized and not just random cars sitting around not being used.
Yeah. Jared says it will end up being a luxury tax in your in-year taxes for road services. Just wait, they'll find a way to get their money without insurance. Oh yeah, absolutely. However, I'd rather take that than
Absolutely.
having to, you know, pay
Yeah,
for
I will
insurance that.
happily pay taxes to have the government you know provide transportation for me, and
Yeah.
uh, not have to have a car or take care of one, and just click a button, car picks me up. Take my money, please. I would be very excited about that. And like Carmela said, uh, less parking garages. We'd have less roadways needed. A lot of the money already being spent on infrastructure, and I know recently our government approved like a multi-trillion-dollar package for involving infrastructure. So things like that, uh, which are needed right now, eventually that money will be able to be directed, instead of to enhancing the kind of infrastructure we have now, it'll be towards the automated infrastructure of our cities, which
Yeah.
I really look forward to.
That'd be so awesome. Well, that was really great.
I know Cammy mentioned flying cars too.
Oh yeah.
That's a whole other aspect of this we haven't really talked about because
Okay, we'll dab into the flying cars
okay,
really quickly because we're almost out of time
okay,
here, and I want to make sure we, you know, wrap up in
yes. Well, I was just gonna add a couple little bullets on that. That
flying
first of all,
cars.
fun fact: one of my friends from MIT was working at a startup for one of the first flying cars.
If
So
you don't know, Corey went to MIT and he worked on teleportation devices.
to not do that.
He should have been working on teleportation devices, but he didn't.
Should have been. Okay, I'll take that. Um,
I
so really cool to hear, Cammy, that you shared that someone is opening a flying car dealership.
Yes,
And
sounds amazing.
yeah, I remember how cool it was when I first learned, this is a long time ago now, that there was a car that could, like, if you've ever been on a duck tour, it's like a car that's like a car that also can drive in the water and become a boat.
Which I've not gone in duck tour, but it does sound awesome. I did.
It's
see
fun. Yeah, you should definitely do it. It's we should do one like local. I've only done it like a destination like Boston, or like to see a new place as opposed to my own town.
I was like,
So
we have it in West Palm.
we do have it, so
I just never done
we
it.
should definitely do that.
Let's do it
That'll be a Corvander's Grill episode. We'll
on the road.
take them on the
duck
road with
tour.
us. So it's not surprising to me that we have cars that you drive somewhere and then it becomes a plane, and I'm excited to see it becoming more accessible. And again, the same thing applies here when we talk about the automated systems, that self-driving cars. It stands to reason that you will also be able to summon a vehicle that could take you not just down the street or across town, but also like pick you up at your front door and fly you to your destination, which is really exciting
That is
to think about. And again, I mentioned the modularity. Like, so one aspect of this could be it picks you up, and there could be even just like railways, high-speed railways that it connects you to, that then you can walk about the cabin until you're like in your destination. You would get back in your little pod, and then it would just detach and like take you to where you need to go.
Got it.
It could be even a station. I'm sure version 1 will be like it takes you to the station and then you just transfer to the rail. But eventually, it could just be like a seamless transfer. And also underground tunnels with cars where you don't even see the cars at all. You get in. Maybe there would even be a stop right in your house. You take an elevator down and you're in your little pod. It's like more like Jetsons kind of territory.
I was gonna say, I was like,
And then it just under the ground, you just high speed right to your destination, and then you're there. And you didn't even have to like step out. Like there would be no roads at all. The cars would happen under the city.
I mean, if we start utilizing underground transportation, like, which I know that's been like a big thing as well. Like, I mean, it saves so much more. Like, I mean, it'd be cool. I'll just say it'd be cool. I won't get too deep into it.
So again, we've talked about a handful of things. I would love to hear if anyone has anything else as far as futuristic technology, something that you would love to see, something you're excited about that you know is on the way, or something that you're like, I have no idea if this is even possible, but I sure would like it to be. Let us know in the comments, and we can always talk about it on a future episode.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I love
like
talking
this.
about the future, so
Awesome.
this is what excites me.
And if there's anything you want to see Corey manufacture and make, because that's what he does. He's working on teleportation. Put it in the comments, and we'll see if we can rig up something. But we will come back to making liquid nitrogen ice cream.
Oh yeah, let's do that.
So catch that for
I need to find a supplier. If you know a liquid nitrogen supplier, please put it in the comments or shoot us a message. I'm sure they are out there for like lab whatever usage, or the ice. There's so many ice cream, liquid nitrogen ice cream places now. It's not a super challenging thing to get. I just don't know how accessible it is for average consumers. Haven't looked into it yet.
But we'll figure it out.
Yes.
We'll make it happen. We'll have some ice creams with you guys. So thank you all for joining us on today's show. Virtual Des, Breezy238, Carmelo, Jarrett, Cammy, Rafe, and anyone else that
Millie.
I missed. Millie. Thank you all for joining us in the comments, and We appreciate everyone watching and all your love and support and sharing of these videos. Indra, thank you so much also for sharing. Check us out on, we don't have tomorrow, actually. Corey's taking a break.
Taking a little break from my Tuesday live streams, but we will be live on Friday for game night.
Friday night game night.
If you have any good game suggestions.
Is this a Friday game night that we have the special one?
Not this one.
Okay.
If you're talking about Villainous, is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Okay, not this one, but
we do have
still a very
maybe
special,
the next
fun
week
game night.
Yeah.
But then we'll have like a special game night.
Extra special. It'll be a whole Zoom experience with tabletop board game things and multi-angled
and friends
friends from afar.
Yeah, so it'll be awesome. Also this week, do we have anything else news-wise? This Saturday we actually have water ceremony.
Yes, if you're in South Florida, join us.
Yes,
in
Du
person.
Bois Park starts at 9 a.m.
9 to 11 a.m.
9 to 11 a.m.
At Du Bois, it's at the Jupiter Inlet. So we'd love to see you there. We'll be playing some music, playing, learning, sharing songs, and
having a good old time.
Yeah, like a drum circle on the beach in the morning. So great way to start a Saturday.
Yes.
First Saturday of every month.
Check out Sacred Water Tribe on Facebook and Instagram. You can find more details there.
Also, Miss Manager launched her store.
Yes.
She makes custom water bottles with sacred symbols. She makes incense blends and bath soaks and altar cloths or custom tapestries, and probably some other things I'm forgetting. Oh, the aura spray is one of my favorites. Yes, in fact,
hot new items right now.
Get my aura spray.
There you go. Cleanse our aura. Fluff me
There we
out.
go.
Yeah.
Get my aura cleanse. So definitely
for you
check
ASMR
out
people. You might like that spray sound.
Oh yeah, the ASMR. Let's get some of that in there. So definitely check out witchhazelmagic.com.
Yes.
Again, Witch Hazel Magic. If you put your email in, she'll send you a coupon, and you can sign up on the site for notifications. And then when she has specials and things like that, she can drop a push notification to your browser, to your phone, and it also supports her. So definitely check it out. Love her products, and so excited that she gets to finally share them with more people than just us.
Yes. Thank you, Witch Hazel Magic. We appreciate all your lovely products and handcrafted items.
Yes.
Okay, well, I think that's it for today.
I think that's it.
So we will see you again on Friday for game night. And we will see you next time.
Have a good night, everyone. And again, I am Corey.
And I am Lavander.
And we are Corvander's Grill. Have a good night.
Edition.
Yeah, future. Have a good night, everyone.
We'll get some advertised next time or something. Crazy beans, all the good stuff.
All those good things.
All those good things.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.